In today's episode, we're going to be talking about using one of the really cool features of closure actions in Ember 2.0, and that's parameter currying. We'll also see some great applications of it to metaprogramming. So to refresh your memory, we're working on the site accessor.ly, and you can put on and remove accessories. So most of that action happens within the control accessory component, with the exception of the change item action, which we're passing down 3 different actions as the change item action. And the reason we're passing down those different items is because they need to change different variables. So change hat changes hat color, change necklace changes necklace color, and change shoe changes shoe color. So what if we want to condense this all into a change item method? There are ways to do this without closure actions and currying, but they're messy, so we won't go into them. What you need to know is that for this, we can change it to change item, and then we give it hat color. So within change item, it not only gets the color, it'll get the color to be changed. And then we set the color to be changed. So hat color is using this new change item method. Let's see that it works. We can indeed change the color of the hat. Now we can get rid of these 2 actions and change necklace and change shoe to change item. And we'll see that they all work using the same action. Let's look at the details of how this works. So here in the action helper, we're giving it the name of the action that we want. And then we're giving it the name of the first parameter. So here that parameter is color to be changed. And then the other parameters that are passed up will be second, third, etc. So it goes the curried parameters first, and then the rest of the parameters. So this is good so far. We've changed 3 almost identical actions into one action, but we can do more. What we're about to do is a little complicated, so I'll just change it with a snap of my fingers, and then explain what's happening. So now, instead of having hat color, necklace color, and shoe color, what we have is a list of all our items. And then we have another list, an array of all the item details. And that will include the item name and the item color, which by default is none. This is a computed property that gets set at the beginning based on the list of items. Then in our change item action, it's getting past the item index and the new color. So we're taking the item details array, we're finding the correct index, and then setting that color on it with the new color that's being passed. In the template, we're looping through the item details. Instead of having the name of the color like we did before, we're having the index that item is at. And that's what we're passing as the curried parameter. And of course we have to change the item name and item color so that it's being passed correctly. And this, of course, works exactly like before. But the difference is that to add something new is incredibly easy. So if we want to add, say, snap bracelets and scarves, that's all we have to do. We now have snap bracelets and scarves, and the code is already working. So this type of metaprogramming is incredibly useful when you want your application to be flexible. For example, you might have the user being able to choose what type of accessories they want to show, or you might have stuff pulled from a database that shows differently depending on the user or what screen you're on. So while not all of this is technically impossible without parameter currying, it definitely would be much harder and less elegant. I hope you find a fun way to apply this in your own app, and I'll see you next week with more applications of Ember 2.0's closure actions.